Hello, I'm Roly, and I'm a custodian of this beautiful woodland in the heart of Derbyshire. And this is video blog 169. As many of you already know, for the past 8 to 10 months, I have been creating short films using AI generated imagery. The last project, the Erie Wave 1889, a true story, was a 10-minute documentary telling the story of a fateful night on Lake Erie. Around 99% of the film was created using AI, with just 6 scenes filmed using Blackmagic cinema camera. What many of my followers probably do not know is that, alongside being a storyteller and poet, I have also found myself writing songs. I cannot read music and I certainly cannot sing, but I can hear the songs in my mind. I know the melody, the rhythm, the feeling I want them to have. Almost every song written for the Erie Wave project came from my own pen. Once I discovered songwriting, something simply clicked. The songs kept coming one after another. Because I cannot sing, I needed people who loved folk music and enjoyed bringing stories to life through song. Through friends, I was introduced to a wonderful group of singers and musicians, and that eventually became the Oak and Holly Band. Most of us have full-time jobs, so we are not a traditional band that rehearses every week in the same room. We are probably much closer in spirit to the travelling Wilburys. I write a song, share it in our group chat, and before long someone replies, "I'd love to sing that." That is how we collaborate. Each song naturally finds the voice that suits its best. Today, Oak and Holly is made up of singers and musicians from both the United Kingdom and the United States, each bringing their own style and personality to the music. I think that diversity comes from the songs, a richness they would never have had if they had been sung by one person. Perhaps I have always been someone who likes to go against the grain, not far not for the sake of being different, but because every generation has to carve its own path. If we simply stand still and refuse to embrace anything new, we risk becoming stagnant. Nature is never stagnant. Rivers keep flowing. Woodlands are constantly changing. Every spring the trees put out fresh leaves. Every autumn they let them go. The landscape is always becoming something new while never forgetting what came before. Perhaps that is why I have embraced artificial intelligence. I know it divides opinion, and I completely understand why. Some people are surprised that someone who follows a path inspired by Druidry and shamanism also embraces modern technology. I see it rather differently. For me, the old ways and new technology exist in complete harmony. Druidry has never been about freezing time. It is about observing nature, learning from it and adapting to the changing world around us. Look at a river. It is never the same from one moment to the next. The water flowing past your feet today will be somewhere else tomorrow, yet it is still the same river. It keeps its identity because it never stops moving. That is why I see AI as simply another tool. An axe can discover a woodland or help build a home. A camera can record history or create art. artificial intelligence can certainly be misused, but it can also give ordinary people like us the opportunity to tell stories that would once have required enormous budgets and hundreds of people. Some people have asked how I can justify using AI when powerful computers and data centers consume electricity and water. It is a fair question and one I have thought about a great deal. The truth is that every creative process leaves a footprint. Traditionally, filmmaking often involves flights, long journeys, diesel generators, lighting rigs, hotels, catering, props, costumes, and a large crew moving from one location to another. All of that has an environmental cost as well. In our case, artificial intelligence has actually reduced much of that. We live hundreds and sometimes thousands of miles apart. Instead of traveling across continents to film scenes that exist only in imagination, we can create those worlds digitally while still telling stories that celebrate history, folklore, nature, and our relationship with the landscape. Technology should never replace our relationship with the natural world. For me, it helps people appreciate it. Every woodland walk, every ancient oak, every birdsong, and every wild flower remain the source of my inspiration. AI simply gives me another way of sharing those stories with people who may never have the opportunity to walk these woods themselves. For me, AI does not replace creativity, it amplifies it. The stories, the songs, the characters, the history, and the emotion all begin in the human imagination. Technology simply helps bring those ideas into the light. Whether people embrace AI or not is entirely their choice, and I respect every opinion. My hope is simply that when people watch one of our films, they spend less time thinking about how they were made and more time reflecting on the stories they are trying to tell. Stories have always evolved with the tools available to us, from charcoal on cave walls to the printing press, photography, cinema, and now artificial intelligence. Every generation has discovered new ways of sharing its ideas. The tools change, but the storyteller remains the same. I do not see Druidry as something frozen in the past. I see it as a living philosophy, like the woodland itself. It continues to grow, adapt and inspire. The wisdom of our ancestors should give us roots, not chains. The roots of the oak reach deep into the ancient ground, drawing strength from centuries gone by. Yet every spring its branches reach towards a future that has never existed before. It honors the past without becoming trapped by it. Perhaps that is what it means to be a custodian, not simply to preserve what came before, but to carry it forward with care, to let the river flow, to let the woodland grow, and to remember that nature has never stood still. Neither should we. So thank you for watching this custodian of a woodland, and I do hope to see you again.